Hey guys, welcome to today's homework video. All right, understanding your pain journey. Is it nervous system sensitivity or is it tissue damage? Or is it both? Right? Or is it autoimmune? There's a lot of choices. And I understand the people that come to these workshops have pain of all kinds. I want you to know that the lessons that I teach will apply to any pain, including, post-cancer pain. However, the people that benefit the most are people with migraines, people with IBS, people with pelvic pain, people with musculoskeletal pain. So, like low back pain, SI pain, shoulder pain, neck pain, those kinds of muscle, like it hurts in your muscle or your nervous, like your nerves, like you have nerve pain, right? So those are the people that benefit like get the most out of these exercises, but that doesn't mean that other people won't benefit. Okay. So we just talked about the nervous system and how it is really the biggest influence in chronic pain. And that just because we have chronic pain does not necessarily mean that there is damage to your tissues, even though that's what everybody in medicine really is trying to treat, because honestly, that's what makes a buck. So let's look further at the idea of the nervous system and how it applies to your personal journey. By the end of this session, I want you to be equipped to start reflecting on whether your pain might be influenced more by the nervous system than by tissue damage, because it's a super, super powerful step to getting the freedom you need to stop suffering. Okay? So when we understand if pain is coming from tissue damage or an overactive nervous system, we really start to approach it differently, because these are not the same treatments. We're not going to do the same thing for the same reasons. When tissue is damaged, we're treating it carefully and waiting for it to heal. When it's an overactive nervous system, we're actually doing a disservice to our pain when we keep protecting it like it's something that needs to heal, because most tissue heals within 12 weeks. So if we are 3 years in, 2 years in, and we are still protecting this part of our body that hurts, thinking that it's broken, we're really reinforcing this idea that we need to be careful and cautious, and we're increasing the sensitivity of our nervous system without even knowing it, right? Think about it. If you broke a bone, the treatment focuses on keeping the bone in place so that it can heal, right? But if pain is coming after the bone has healed and we're dealing with pain for pain's sake and not pain from broken tissue, then we have to approach it completely differently, right? We don't need to keep that limb completely still so that the bone can heal. We need to begin to move it so that our bodies know that it's safe. So treating nervous system related pain is a lot less about fixing or treating something that's broken, and it's more about learning to feel safe inside and outside of yourself again. It's about calming, it's about creating safety, right? So why is this important? Well, when we only focus on the tissue, we're focusing on like 10% of the pain problem and we're leaving 90% untreated, which is why you're not getting better, right? When we treat tissue only for chronic pain, that leads to frustration, loss of money, loss of life. Our pain steals from us, right? So we need to understand that the source is the nervous system so that we can take the right steps to get our lives back, which is all any of us really want anyway. All right. So how do you know if your pain is related to nervous system sensitivity? Well, hopefully you've taken that central sensitization inventory and you have a good idea that like, yeah, that kind of made sense. If that's a little too abstract for you, how about this? These are things that are associated with nervous system pain. Pain that kind of moves or changes, shifts locations, it's more diffuse, feels different from day to day, right? Those are signs that your nervous system is highly likely to be the bigger problem than the tissue. Pain without clear injury. You've been told nothing's wrong, but it sure as hell feels like it. I mean, I was in disabling pain for decades, and they kept telling me there was nothing wrong with me, but it sure felt like something was wrong with me. It felt like something was wrong with my tissues, and I was adamant that something was wrong with my tissues, even though nothing ever showed up on scans. Okay. That's a huge clue that your nervous system is driving the pain, not tissue driving the pain. Sensitivity to touch, temperature, or stress. Things that didn't bother you before your injury became pervasive or your pain became pervasive, now they trigger pain. That's a really good sign that your pain is in overdrive. Pain lasting longer than an expected injury. Again, you can reference that table within your workbooks, but while tissue typically heals within a few weeks to months, the nervous system can create pain indefinitely. So those are some very, very key things that are associated with chronic pain, which is pain from the nervous system as opposed to pain from tissue, and it requires a different approach. So recognizing these patterns in your pain is a huge step. And it's not about dismissing your experience. Your pain is real. Your pain is real. It's not in your head. It's not made up. I mean, your brain is in your head and your brain is part of your nervous system, but you're not making this up. It's not real. It's just got a different cause than you probably think. So understanding this helps us move forward, right? So now we need to make it personal. I really want you to take some time and reflect on your own pain journey. What was happening when you really started noticing this pain? Was there an injury or an event that triggered it, like mine? I was a Division I college swimmer. I had a lot of stressful things going on in my life. That's like really dumbing it down for those of you that know my story. I heard a pop. I did a flip turn. I was doing a flip turn. I heard a pop. I ended up stuck in the water, and the pain didn't go away for 20 years. That's a lot longer than a typical strain is expected to last. And it was, now that I look back, it was definitely worse at times of higher stress, when I didn't sleep as well, if I felt I wasn't being listened to, right? All of those things would tend to flare up my pain. And if I was in a good mood, if I felt supported, if if things were going in a positive direction, my pain was definitely less. Now, I could not have told you that at the time, but once I started learning about the nervous system 20 years later, I started to be able to see some of these patterns in my pain. We're not going to figure this all out in one sitting, and that's okay. But I do want you to start to notice by reflecting on your story, right? Where can you see that your pain is influenced by your nervous system? Why does the reflection matter? Why should you walk through your pain story today? Well, because awareness is the first step to change. And when we start to identify patterns in our pain, we can shift our focus from trying to fix this tissue to creating an environment where our nervous system is more content and real progress can begin to happen. Understanding your pain means you get to take control. You get power back. And instead of feeling at the mercy of your symptoms, your providers, and your insurance, you can begin to see where you have direct influence. And that is crazy empowering. Your homework today is super, super simple. Take some quiet time and reflect on your pain journey. Use a journal. Sit and think about it. Use your workbook. But think about the questions we've discussed. When did your pain start? What patterns have you noticed in your pain? And are there any triggers that seem to set off your pain? Certain movements, certain smells, certain sounds, certain environments, certain people. If you feel comfortable, I would love for you to share your reflections in the Facebook group. hearing other people's stories can be so incredibly validating, and your insights might help somebody else taking this workshop as well. There will be a post pinned to the top of the Facebook group that says day one homework, and you can just drop your responses in there. Tomorrow, we're going to dive into how retraining your nervous system can, like what that means and how it can help. And we're going to talk about practical tools and strategies to calm the system and begin turning the volume down on pain. Remember, this is a process. This is your first step. And you're doing amazing simply by showing up, being willing to learn, and watching these videos. Thank you so much for being here today, and I will see you tomorrow. And if you'd like to read more about my story, I wrote my memoir, which is the book in the middle there. It's Restoring Venus from Chronic Pain to Possibilities. And it's available on Amazon. Just search my name and Restoring Venus. And you can grab a copy of my memoir and you can see how my chronic pain journey panned out. And maybe you will see yourself in there. Have a great day, and I will see you tomorrow.